Alright guys, Rich here from the RCNetwork, and this is going to be the intro video to my Axial Yeti build. Now I plan to make the absolute ultimate Axial Yeti that you can find out there. As you see in front of you, you have basically the skeletal remains of an Axial Yeti, or Sasquatch, or whatever you want to call it. I basically plan to go to some of the best manufacturers out there in the RC world, and just turn this thing to an ultimate U4 slash durability slash fast rig. This thing will have awesome speed, torque, durability, and just it will look damn good. So stay tuned throughout the series. This will be the intro video, and then right after this it'll go into some parts that I'm using, and then at the very end of this video you will see how those parts turned out. So without further ado, check this out. Alright, so Hot Racing has been around for a little while in the RC community, and they're definitely known for their upgrade parts they make for a lot of different vehicles out there. Now, in the past, I haven't been too impressed with some of the quality of material and some of the finishing touches that Hot Racing has done, but really I've got to say that something's happened. Something has triggered them to really get into the RC game here and really producing some great products. Now, in the last build I did, which was the Losi Mini AT, I picked up the whole line of Hot Racing products and was super impressed with not only the material they're using now, but also just the finishing touches and also just the quality of how everything fit. I was really impressed with that. So I definitely went back to them to pick up some of their cool items for the Axial Yeti. So one of the most in-demand items right now, being November of 2014, right after the release of the Axial Yeti, is the motor mount. So the motor mount on the Axial Yeti comes with this plastic, thing that kind of holds a 550 size motor in, and just wasn't too impressed with this. This is actually sold out if you try and get a hold of the machined one that Axial offers on an aftermarket basis. So went to Hot Racing to pick up their motor mount, and just I can't tell you how awesome this thing looks in person here. Quick model number, there will be links in the video description so you can check out their items, but really dig the quality of aluminum, also the chamfered edges. You know, you have little fins right here for heat dissipation, and, you know, of course, the stamping right there, hotracing.com. It just looks awesome, so can't wait to use this thing. With that, you also need the motor plate, which is this cool blue anodized that actually mounts to the motor, and this just sits into the motor plate, so you have some adjustability there for your gear mesh. So pretty cool item. I can't wait to use this. It's going to be a huge improvement over the stock item. On down the line here, I'm just kind of picking as I'm going here. I went with a steel spur gear. This is their steel main gear, 64 tooth. Still going to have the same 32 pitch that comes stock with the Yeti. And decided to go steel because I'm going to be putting a lot of power through this rig on 3S LiPo. So want to definitely have some added strength here on the spur gear. So I went with this stock gear ratio. I may adjust the pinion just slightly for my taste, but all in all, great item here. On down the line with gearing, I picked up two sets of these HD spiral bevel gear sets. Still went with the stock gear ratio 38-13, and this will go for both the front diff, which is that EXO type of diff, and also the rear diff that will be locked out. So great item here. This is going to be a definite upgrade over the stock, which is kind of like a pot metal, which will definitely chip and break a lot easier than this HD machined steel. So definite weight to it, and that's what you want for your gearing. So picked up two sets of those. On down the line, I picked up this lightweight unibody differential lock for the Wraith. That's going to go for the rear axle. This will bolt right up to that HD spiral bevel gear. So great little color there. I'm not sure what color it is. I'm assuming it's green or orange. Being colorblind, hard for me to tell sometimes. So, but that's going to be a great item as well. I picked up their diff cover for the AR60 axle or the Wraith axle. Super heavy. I'm really impressed with that, and just looks good. Kind of has that ARB look, which I was definitely going for, and I can't wait to throw this thing on there just for a little added pop of color. Now on to some of the front items. I picked up a set of these front CVDs. These are for the EXO. They'll fit the Yeti as well, same length and everything you want. They give you a CVD drive, so instead of the stock dog bone that you get with the Yeti, you're able to run a CVD, and that gives you a little bit better turning radius, a little less chatter, and less chances for a dog bone to pop out while you're out on the trail. So great item there, and this will just drop right in. Last couple items here. I did pick up the steering caster blocks for the front. These are made for the EXO, will work on the Yeti, and I do plan to run some Vanquish steering knuckles, so we'll see how those work on down the line. But once again, great item. Has the chamfered edge that Hot Racing is known for. You can kind of see right there, and it just looks good, and I'm sure they're going to perform well. Well, the last thing I picked up was this aluminum lock servo arm. This is a 25-2, so you do have 2 points of locking, both the rear section and the front section. Have a couple holes up here to mount straight up to your servo arm, and it should be awesome. I do plan to run a serious powered servo. This is one of Hi-Tech's new digital brushless servos. This thing pumps out right under 400 ounces of torque, so I definitely want an aluminum item up there, just kind of conducting the orchestra of the front end. So this should be definitely a cool item, and I can't wait to get all of this stuff on my Axial Yeti. So stay tuned here. I'm going to pause. I have lots of work to do, and I'll show you what all the final items look like. Alright guys, and I'm back now, and I went ahead and got everything installed that I mentioned in the first segment of the video. Now there actually has been about 2 weeks in between the first segment and this segment because I've been installing a lot of parts on this Axial Yeti. So went ahead and got all of those Hot Racing parts installed on my Yeti. There's going to be links down in the video description to each one that I installed, and I just want to show you guys how everything went. So as far as the non-Yeti specific parts, so as you all know, the front end of this Yeti is basically an EXO. The rear end is basically a Wraith. So went ahead and picked up several of the EXO items. The first one being these front steel CVD drive shafts. They went on perfect, and I have no issues with those whatsoever. They went on. I ended up adding in some Avid racing bearings just to help everything along with the new build, but you can kind of see those CVDs in there, and everything looks good. So can't wait to kind of test out the additional steering angle I'm going to have, and just having CVDs up front is just going to help basically everything over the stock dog bones. So next thing here, I did go ahead and add those front caster blocks. You can kind of see the right and left specification on the fronts here. They went on with no issue as well, but I did have a little bit of compatibility issue between the Vanquish knuckles and the Hot Racing caster blocks. So I did have to shave off just a little bit of the anodization on the caster blocks to make everything fit perfect between the two brands. So that may be a brand specific thing, but just had to shave off just a little bit to make everything work and have everything just free flowing there. Not sure about the STRC ones, but on this particular case, everything's working perfect now. I have plenty of fluid movement of my steering, and it all looks good. Next thing here, nothing really that I can show you guys because they're somewhat hidden, but I did mount the HD bevel gear set for both the EXO and the Wraith. They're the same part numbers, so the front gets a fluid-filled diff, and the rear gets a locked-out diff. So went ahead and set these in here. I went with the stock setup, which is a 38-tooth bevel and 13-tooth pinion. I believe there are some underdrive gears available as well. So wanted to stick with a stock setup for right now. see how everything works and kind of go from there. So those went in awesome. These bevel gears are machined bevel gears, so they're going to last a lot longer than the kind of pot metal ones that came stock on the Axial Yeti. So once again, a great item there. Kind of hard to show you because it's already inside of a differential. So went on those two. The next non-Yeti specific part that I installed was this steel main spur gear. This is a 64th tooth, and it is a 32 pitch spur gear. So went ahead and I installed that thing. Let's take a look at that really quick. It is quite heavy, so be prepared for that. You can kind of see there's some drilling to kind of minimize the weight of it, but this thing is super burly. I did have to take the stock slipper pads off of the plastic one, and they were somewhat kind of glued on there, so I had to be really careful when I peeled those things off. But other than that, everything ended up good with that steel spur gear. So the last thing is a Yeti specific part. This is the motor mount and also the motor plate. The mount right here is a Yeti specific one, like I said earlier, and it went on beautiful. I can't believe just the quality of these two items was just amazing. Something's definitely happened at Hot Racing to where they're really kind of upping the game on their upgrade parts now. So those are the two items right here. You kind of already took a peek there when you looked at that spur gear, but God, there's the blue anodization is pretty cool, and it bolts on and all aluminum, and it just has those nice kind of chamfered channels right in there, and some real huge. It takes a 3 millimeter wrench up here to actually put those two, just same as stock. And we'll flip this around here so you can see the other side, and you see that big, huge motor plate right there, getting ready to start bolting in some electronics, and can't wait to kind of see how that works with that motor plate. So, well, guys, that's it for this little installment of my Axial Yeti upgrade series. There's going to be lots of different installments here, so stay tuned for those. They're going to be out basically every other day going into December, and I can't wait to show you guys some of the parts that I've chosen and how this thing is going to end up. I've already kind of mocked things up, and it's just amazing to say the least. So stay tuned for that. Also, please feel free to check out my Facebook page. There's going to be lots of detailed photos between both stock and also the new upgrade parts. So if you want to check out how those bevel gears look, you can check out my Facebook page for more on that. There's going to be a link down in the video description as well. Well, that's it, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this installment. If you have any comments or questions, please feel free to leave those down below. And as always, thumbs up and subscribe. That's it for now, guys. Over and out.